Hello again. It's me, Mr. Not-Sakurai.
Sorry about that. It's me, Mr. Not-Sakurai. Man, those past 4 years did wonders for my voice. For the first time in a very long while, I'm here to introduce you to a new fighter in the Rivals of Aether Workshop, Mii Mage. Without further ado, let the magic begin. I don't think I have to introduce Miis. They're Nintendo's custom avatars. Even if their golden age was during the Wii era, they still get the spotlight every once in a while, appearing in games such as Tomodachi Life, and most notably for this presentation, Super Smash Bros., where they are customizable characters known as the Mii Fighters. Super Smash Bros. Currently has 3 classes of Mii Fighter: Brawler, Sword Fighter, and Gunner, all of which can be customized with different moves and costumes. However, there's a classic archetype that isn't represented in this trio, the Magic User. Because of that, existing Mii costumes that theoretically fit this archetype are stuck with movesets that don't suit them at all. For example, poor Ashley from WarioWare has to use her staff as a sword instead. And while Mii Gunner has ranged attacks like a Magic User would, those attacks are presented in a technological way, with gadgets such as bombs, missiles, and high-tech shields, which are aesthetically unfitting for a true mage. That is the reason why I chose to make this character. You might ask, but Mr. Not-Sakurai, why are you saying all this? This is Rivals of Aether, not Super Smash Bros. Why are you justifying the inclusion of a character based on features that aren't even in this game? Well, my friend, you do have a point. None of this really matters. But this is the magic of modding. You create made-up scenarios of your choosing and make mods to pretend they've always been real. If they eventually become real, you're a prophet. And if they don't, you'll at least always have your mod. It's the classic, just do it yourself approach. Besides, the other 3 Mii fighters already have amazing mods by JPEG Warrior, so I wanted the workshop to have the full quartet. And most importantly, isn't she adorable? Whoops, sorry for the small tangent there. Anyways, going back to Mii Mage, my goal here was to create a Mii fighter that, realistically, could represent fighters such as Zelda, Mewtwo, Ness, Robin, Palutena, so on and so forth. Think about it. If, for some reason, the next Smash game cuts them and they're stuck in Mii costume limbo, would you want their costumes to fight using only arm cannons and staff swords? Or would you want them to use actual magic instead? It's not like Mage Miis are a foreign concept to Nintendo. As a matter of fact, they're the main advertised class of Miitopia, a Mii-based RPG. They liked the game so much, they released it twice. Miitopia also happens to be the source of the idea for Mii Mage's trailer. In the game, the faces of Miis are stolen by a mysterious enemy. The same thing happens in this trailer, where Mii Mage goes after the stolen faces of the Mii fighters. Those specific mods don't have faces to begin with, so coming up with this idea wasn't difficult at all. The design for Mii Mage itself is also pulled from Miitopia. To be more specific, I used the design from this Mii, known as Emma, used to advertise the 3DS release. In the Nintendo Switch version, a Mii known as Jane was used instead, effectively replacing Emma. I didn't like that. Mii Mage is a floaty, light character, borrowing many stats from Absa. She's the textbook definition of a zoner, and many of her attacks revolve around keeping foes away from her. While she uses non-specific magic, many of her attacks also use elemental magic, to show that this mage is quite studied. She parries by using a magic shield, and her air dodge is a teleport, which may remind you of foes a certain puffball deals with on a regular basis. Before we start diving further into her moveset, here's a quick rundown of my philosophy regarding Mii Mage. She was deliberately designed as a simple character, with no central gimmick or complex mechanic. Just an honest, easy to understand character with a mage archetype. In a place as diverse in movesets as the Rivals of Aether Workshop, we all could use some pick up and play characters every once in a while. Because of that, I believe she is a good character for players that aren't yet ready to embrace the full wackiness of Workshop. Perfect for playdates, parties, and other such events. Nonetheless, once people get used to more and more characters, she is still a great palate cleanser, and, as you're about to see, simple doesn't always equal weak. Despite Mii Mage's design coming from Miitopia, most attacks are original, as my intent was to prioritize the Mii fighter aspect of the character, instead of a Miitopia representation one. Of course, there are exceptions, such as her taunt, which is her victory animation from that game. Mii Mage uses different wands from Miitopia for different kinds of attacks. For the attacks known as normals, which will be explained here, she uses the Apprentice wand, the default one in that game, usually seen with her in promotional material. You can also see it in her idle animation and in her portrait art. In her jab, she freezes opponents at a safe distance. Hit the attack button again and you can throw them upwards with levitation magic. There is also a weaker hitbox closer to her on the initial swing, just in case. For her up tilt, she swipes her wand in an arc above her. You can't get simpler than that. In her forward tilt, she proudly points her wand forwards, and boom! An explosion is cast. It's not very strong, but it does surprise her. There's even a bit of recoil, which is yet another tool to create some distance. When she uses her down tilt, she creates a small, concentrated burst of magic in the ground at a safe distance. Use it to start strings. There is also a weaker hitbox on her arm. To cap things off, in her dash attack, she repeatedly swipes her wand while dashing forwards, as if to say, "Get the heck away from me!" For her aerial attacks, the Iron Wand is Mii Mage's weapon of choice. In her neutral aerial attack, she gracefully spins her wand around her. It isn't very strong, but it does its job of quickly getting rid of foes that enter your comfort zone. Meanwhile, in her forward aerial, she throws a spinning wand forwards, repeatedly hitting opponents, then brings it back like a boomerang. The final hit is a bit stronger than the others. Her up aerial attack has her wildly swing her wand upwards, also having a stronger final hit. There's a weaker hitbox on her arm and on the base of the wand too, for convenience. In her back aerial, she casts a mid-air explosion to propel her backwards, just like in her forward tilt, but, well, in the air. Once again, this is great to get away from foes, while simultaneously hitting them. Lastly, in her down aerial, she creates a downwards projectile while getting a minor vertical boost. The projectile doesn't last for long, but it still helps this zoner cover all bases. Mii Mage's strong attacks use the powerful Twilight Wand. Her forward strong attack has her summon a powerful black hole that surprises even Mii Mage herself. It sucks in nearby foes and repeatedly hits those absorbed by it, ending with a powerful finishing blow. While it isn't her strongest attack in terms of sheer power, it more than makes up for it with its area of effect. In her up strong, she casts a Pillar of Flame that quickly emerges from the ground. It's similar to Palutena's up strong, but not as extreme. The very tip of the pillar hitbox can hit through the platforms of some popular stages. Ouch! Finally, in her down strong, she summons a storm cloud that then shoots bolts of lightning to the ground below. The strongest hitbox is near the ground, but the bolts themselves can still hurt. For her specials, Mii Mage uses the legendary wand, the strongest one in Miitopia. Her neutral special is a classic, a charged projectile. She can charge her magic for up to 3 levels, and fires the projectile according to her charge level. The strongest projectile packs quite the punch. Additionally, you can press shield during the charging animation to store your current charge for some time. A visual indicator will appear near the character to tell you if the charge is currently stored, and disappears when the time runs out. When you store your strongest charge, the indicator will blink faster, and when you press the special button again, you will go straight to firing the projectile, instead of charging it again. Her forward special summons 3 icicles above herself, which will then aim at the nearest foe within a large protection area. Then, with a gentle flick, Mii Mage launches the icicles at said foe. You can interrupt the summoning animation before the projectiles are launched, causing them to plummet downwards. In her up special, Mii Mage gets wrapped in magic and disappears, only to reappear at her last grounded location. If she uses the move on the ground, she will go upwards at a fixed distance instead. A visual indicator will pop up in her destination before she reappears, so players can react accordingly. The reappear animation also has a hitbox, and quite the strong one at that, so if you see that animation, brace yourself. Now, if a mage doesn't have healing magic, is it truly a mage? That's why, in her down special attack, Mii Mage summons an orb that continuously gets charged with healing power for as long as you hold down the button. When the button is released, she absorbs the orb and heals up to 10% of her health. But the orb isn't there only for show. Any player can touch it, including your foes. So, don't use this move unless you have some breathing room. Of course, your allies can also touch it, so you can play support if you want. I am aware that this is sort of a niche move, more suited to team battles and single-player content such as bosses. But if you really want to play defensively, the option is there. You may have noticed that none of these special moves directly interact with each other or with the rest of her moveset, feeling quite replaceable if I ever decided to change them. This is by design, so the door can be open for custom moves in the future. I must inform you that I don't currently have plans for that, and I don't think I will anytime in the near future, but I didn't want to completely neglect that possibility. If I end up adding them, it won't be by myself, so if anyone wants to help, please contact Gustavo. I mean me. While Rivals of Aether doesn't have costumes to dress up the Mii fighters, it has the next best thing, alternate colors. That's why each one of Mii Mage's 32 alts plays homage to a gaming icon that fits the archetype of mage, sorcerer, wizard, etc. Jane is also there. They are mostly representing Nintendo characters, but there are some wild cards. The best part about these alts is how they also recolor the generic magic used in many of Mii Mage's moves. Because of that, for example, the Ganondorf alt will have malice-colored magic. The Mewtwo alt will use pink psychic energy, and the Mia alt will attack using water. Previously, I mentioned how Mii Mage uses different wands from Miitopia in her attacks. Well, there is one wand somewhere else. I'm talking about the Broomstick, which is a respawn platform. Additionally, I'd like to add that Mii Mage's sound effects are a mishmash of sound effects from mage-like characters from Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, such as Zelda, Rosalina, and Robin. Thank you, Mr. Sakurai. Or rather, thank you, the Sounds resource. As expected, Mii Mage comes with a stage of her own, Karkaton Peak, based on the area of the same name from Miitopia. Karkaton is a very important area in the source game, representing the stretch where the player rescues party members that have been kidnapped while approaching the castle of the Dark Lord, the main antagonist of the game. Said castle can be seen in the background. Gameplay-wise, this is a simple stage with 2 platforms, one on a pillar to the left, slightly going off stage, and one to the right, taking the form of a cloud based on the Pain Cloud teammate enemy found in Karkaton in Miitopia. It moves in a semicircle, thanks to the circular moving platform template by Huponia. In Miitopia, this enemy bears the face of a kidnapped party member. The teammate part of the name is even replaced by the name of that party member. The enemy is then fought as a boss to rescue the poor soul inside it. But the cloud isn't the only enemy present. Attached to the pillar, you can find the Study of Teammate Enemy, which is a portrait where the face of another party member is imprisoned. In the game, it is also fought as a boss. Similarly, in this stage, when a player is KO'd, they then appear as a painting in the portrait. This is similar to a mechanic found in the Ganondorf's Tower stage. There is no difference between basic and Aether forms of this stage, but I believe that the cloud and the portrait by themselves already make the stage stand out. To be honest, this stage almost wasn't made, because SB2749 had already made an incredible stage for Miitopia years ago, that being New Lumos. But I guess this presentation wouldn't be complete without a stage, so I made one anyway. The more the merrier, am I right? As always, here is the music selection for the stage. Miitopia is known for surprising players with its amazing soundtrack, so choosing which tracks would be used in this stage was particularly difficult. Good thing the stage is compatible with Euponia's music select template. And that's it for today. I'd like to point out that Mii Mage is my third standalone character not made as a collab, being made after Monokuma and Mario Kart featuring Shy Guy. So I can proudly say that my streak of making mods with characters starting with the letter M is intact. I swear this wasn't on purpose, but hey, tiny coincidences like this can make you appreciate life a bit more. I don't have plans for releasing any other characters by myself in the future, but I still did my best for Mii Mage's release, so I hope you enjoy it. I'd like to thank Wizard for helping with coding most special moves, Rega for making the beautiful sketch that ended up as the portrait art, Delta Parallax for giving valuable sprite work feedback, JPEG Warrior for letting me mess with his other Mii Fighter mods in Mii Mage's trailer, Vivi Vinya for providing my voice lessons, Shy Soul for being my go-to tester, and you for watching this presentation and for waiting patiently for Mii Mage's release after so much time. I hope you look forward to my future projects on the Rivals of Aether Workshop, and I wish you all a great day.